Good morning. Let's call the meeting to order, please. Andy, you ready for whatever's happening there?
I believe so, sir.
Okay. Let's stand for a moment of silence, followed by the pledge of allegiance. Thank you. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Ms. Tammy, call the roll, please.
Mayor Kathy?
Here.
Mr. Pollock?
Here.
Mr. Smith?
Here.
Ms. Call?
Here.
Mr. Key?
Here. Thank you, ma'am. We have one set of minutes that are under our consent agenda. If no one has any additions or corrections, Chair will entertain a motion to approve by consent.
Make a motion to approve by consent. The motion.
Second.
Okay, if you would please include the June 22nd meeting.
Oh, it's June 22nd meeting.
Is there any opposition? No corrections or additions? Let the record show passed 5-0. All right, next is citizen comments. I think everyone understands those rules. If it's an agenda item, please hold your comments. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so do I need to state my name and all that for the record?
Yeah.
Okay, my name is Kimberly Shove. I reside at 102 Canal Parkway, Monday through Friday. I'm here on behalf of Special Events for Mexico Beach, and we would just like to personally thank the city, the fire, and the sheriffs, and everyone else who came and not only supported our 5K fun run, which we had 251 athletes participate in, as well as our amazing fireworks show, and a very big thank you to all of those who helped contribute to the firework cause. We exceeded our goal. I do know that. I don't know by how much, but I do know we exceeded our goal, and the committee is very excited to host a gumbo next year. So that's it. Unless you want to add anything. No, thank you so much. Yes, thank you.
Citizen comments. Just a moment, please. Just hang on a minute.
Probably no way to silence it.
It never rings.
She was called here, so what happened?
Sorry about that.
Okay, Mr. Ivy, citizen comments. Yes, sir. Inform.
Yes, sir. I'm Dale Paramore. I reside at 414 La Siesta, owned the property for about 4 years. In recent weeks, 5-6 weeks, you know, the storms we've had, the water that has, well, the water problem we have at the end of 7th Street and the camp, mobile home park behind the storage units, and then down La Siesta. This is Bubba McLemore, my next door neighbor. Our front yards and ditch flood every time these big rains, but I've looked down 15th Street and there's an address 413, 423, and 433 driveways 85 to 90% blocked with dirt. There's nowhere for the water to flow. I know there's been some talk about the culverts not being level and water running properly, but if the culverts are 90% blocked, it doesn't matter the level. There's no way we're supposed to water to go. There's water stands in front of all those houses also. I just wanted to bring it to attention. You may get the ditch cleaned out. It does not look odd to be. I'm not
Yes,
in
sir.
that line of work, but if y'all could address those issues, we'd greatly
Can we
appreciate it.
look at those, just make a note of those?
Yes, sir, Mayor.
That's all we
We got
need to do.
the three down there, the three he's talking about. We just got our ditching bucket last Friday. We're fixing to start on that. I've got 3 culverts down there that does need to be raised up, and the ditch is scoped out. And I think that's gonna help the problem all the way back up to La Fiesta, and Angelina Estates. So we are fixing to work on that.
Thank you very much.
Yes, sir. Next. Yes, sir.
Yeah, Mayor, I'm Jason Alves, 114 South 33rd Street. Good morning. I was at the last city council meeting and we spoke a little bit about 33rd Street and the water situation down there, and there was supposed to be a recommendation made by the engineer to the city manager and the council, and I was hoping I could get an update on that because on the very next day after city council meeting, I almost had a flood event occur in my home, but I was able to remediate it.
Okay, you're correct. That was discussed, and I don't know the outcome of that, but is that something we need to we get together afterwards? You got something on the list? Okay, come.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. My name is Mike Albert. I'm from Panama City Beach. I'm looking to provide a service here in Mexico Beach for chairs and umbrellas. I'm not asking for a permit yet unless I'm required to get one. Now, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to service these homes in some northern places, like the orange one right here. I can't remember the name of it. But my main reason for being here is because I'm getting a lot of calls. I'm number 1 on Google in Panama City Beach for chair deliveries and stuff. So obviously the citizens here, the guests, are asking for me to come over here. My service strictly goes straight to the beach. I set them up for the people. When they get done, they call me. We come pick it up. I'm trying to figure out if a permit is required. I've looked through your ordinances. I'm kind of in a gray area, I believe. So that's the reason I'm here today.
Okay. You just need to get with our administrator.
Okay.
Those are covered by city policy.
And Mayor, what he and I have spoken, the way that our code is written, you have to have the upland landowner's permission in order to set that business up. What he wants to do is provide custom service up and down the whole beach to provide a chair for a person on the public beach, not behind private property.
Well, it would be both. It would be private property as well as
Then
public beach.
Again, you would have to have, you'd have to have an agreement from the upward landowner to provide that service. Again, we're set up more like the beach chair service behind a condo
Okay.
and or a hotel.
The whole city is?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Well, there's some ordinances in there that read that as long as I'm not collecting money on the beach, I'm not using a motorized vehicle to service my equipment and or get it on or off, then that's
the key is
my main concern.
getting on and off the beach.
So I'm walking it down there.
We'll look at it closer
Yeah.
this afternoon, but there is a way to do the type of business you're describing. It just has certain conditions that have to be met.
That's what I would like to know.
One is the things can't be left overnight.
Oh yeah, of course not. I mean, you're talking 2 chairs and 1 umbrella cost me
Make an
$500.
application, and so everybody understands, I mean, this format here is not to decide whether you're a,
Oh, I understand that. I'm just trying to figure out which way I need to go. I mean, the way I read it, I don't need any type of permit to do what I want to do. I'm trying to supply a service for guests that either don't want to do it or physically aren't capable of doing it. Elderly
I think you
people,
need a permit,
handicapped
but I
people.
think there's, like as the attorney said, there are measures that we can be taken to ensure that
Perfect.
we know what
So
to do.
basically, what you're telling me is I need to submit a permit application for a beach vendor permit.
That's what I would do. I think that's the first step of any kind of business.
The staff and I will look at it closer this afternoon.
Okay.
Okay, so we'll be back. How's that?
Thank you, sir.
You got it. Citizen comments. Others? Yes, sir.
Rockledge, Colorado. First of all, I want to say, hey, the fireworks show was great. The people who put it on was fantastic. And after show on the beach was just as good. I think everybody being cooped up for a year. There was like commercial fireworks on the beach. It was unreal. It was really good. Second question, you guys send your pictures to garbage trucks. That ain't normal. You can come out here and walk in front of City Hall and go all the way down through Nanda, through my neighborhood, everywhere they stop. It's like somebody's taking 5 gallons of oil and dumping it in the street, glass, nails, everything else. It's all through Mexico Beach. That's just not normal. The last truck I seen, I looked at it, the thing looks like it's on its last legs. I'm sure these garbage trucks are not cheap, but you know, everybody's trying to clean up the neighborhoods, and everywhere you go, you drive down the roads, it's all you see. Walk out your street, same way, all the way down here from City Hall, all the way down to the end. Have you given any thought to maybe contracting out the garbage services? Just, I mean, the garbage truck, something has to be done. That's ridiculous.
We understand. I don't think anybody disagrees with you.
Okay? I just, you know, I've never gotten anything back from anybody saying, yeah, we got a problem. It's just, it's really looking bad when you're driving through the neighborhoods and that's all you see everywhere you go. It's bad.
I agree you got a problem.
Okay.
Contracting the garbage out is not the answer. We got too many personal things. Our service is very unique. I think it's something we need to keep. We need to work as far as being able to get new trucks. We got old trucks and all, I understand. But at the same time, contract it out where they don't take care of personal situations. The other Saturday I was behind the pouring down rain. Our sanitation workers was picking up tourist trash cans everywhere. Pouring down rain. They're down at the fish tank getting the guts out and all this. You don't get that under contract work. You know, if you got a bunch of people come in over the week, you got 2 trash cans, they empty it. You don't get that under contract work. So the key to it is fixing our trucks financially when we can, instead of trying to contract our business out somewhere else. That's my feelings.
Okay, well, at least do something to the trucks to keep that from leaking all over the place. That's just...
It's on our radar, believe it.
Okay. The other thing, everybody's talking about flooding. You know where I live in Colorado, can't do nothing about it. But at least I got ducks across the street now. I think it's turned into a wildlife refuge. There's 3 lots over there that are just under water, and there's no ditches. So you can't clean them out because you never put anything in down there. There's nowhere for the water to go. Mario knows. He came down the last big floods they had a couple of months ago, and he's seen what I was talking about. There's no ditches, there's no swales, no drains, there's nothing at my end of the street. So it can't go anywhere. Well, like I said, at least we got ducks now. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Anyone else? Okay. Yes,
Michelle
ma'am.
Miller, 716 Oleander. I was just wanting to know, have y'all addressed, I think the city, and maybe somebody else is using 8th Street between 98 and Fortner to put debris. Do you know if that's going to be cleaned up in the near future? It's been there for 2.5 years now.
I contacted the gas station contractor, and it is their debris. The gas station contractor worked out an agreement with the landowner of that parcel, which is actually Toucans, and they told me that on the 7th, which was yesterday or the day before, or some other day, that they were supposed to be out there. So I'll call them again because they were supposed to clear all that.
What about between Oleander and Fortner, that lot? I've seen the city dumping, you know,
That I don't know. I'm just talking about between Oleander and 98.
Between Fortner and Oleander, the pavement that was pulled up from Oleander is sitting there. It's been there since y'all put the new road in. Thank you for our new road, by the way. But that's really looking bad on the city.
Okay.
And
Get so that we all know where we're talking about.
Yeah.
If that was our contractor, we can get the contractor.
That's right. Absolutely.
thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Others? Okay, we're going to close in the citizen comment, move to department reports. I assume financial is being part of the next meeting?
That's after this meeting, it'll be a completely separate meeting.
So we don't have anything right now?
We doubled it if we did.
Okay. Sandy?
Morning, everybody. First things first, as Kimberly said, ourselves and Bay County Sheriff's Office got together and on the 4th and helped out with both the run and the fireworks display. All I can say, it was a pleasure to be there. Everybody that partook in the run seemed to enjoy themselves. And then in the evening, in regards to the fireworks, anybody that was asked to move for whatever reason, be it they were in the fallout area, they did so happily. So thank you to everybody that we did interact with. It was a fun day for all, and I'm glad to see us slowly but surely getting back to normal. On the fire front, the pole barn in the Public Works yard is now completely finished and is now being used by both ourselves and Public Works to house some of the vehicles that have been out in the open since the storm, which is another good step forward. We're slowly but surely getting more bits of equipment in to replenish some of the items that were lost again during the storm, thanks to the state grant. So day by day, we are getting ourselves back to a stronger position than we were before the storm. And as far as everything else is concerned, there was obviously a lot of people here throughout that holiday weekend. There was no significant increase in calls, which is a good thing, but there's a significant increase in number of people in the area, and we enjoyed interacting with everybody. So if anybody has any questions for us, I'd be happy to answer them. Yes, sir.
Chief, last month, I want to say thanks to your guys. I know they drive down. I go down and see Sunset every night. I know we're down there at the beach, checking everything out, driving around, and pick up stuff that's left. It was about a month ago. I've missed a couple of meetings. I've been out of town. But I thought they were picking stuff up off the beach, and they actually brought it up to two elderly people and helped them get it in their car. They had a couple of chairs and stuff like that. And I thought that was really cool. I thought we were collecting stuff, but they were actually helping out these people. And it was nice.
The idea is we're down there in and around 7 o'clock to try and help them to leave no trace, make sure everybody is off the beach, make sure there are no holes. Just, something that was done by the city. We work for the city. It was, we're here 24 hours a day. It just makes more sense for the fire department to head down at that time with our side by side and do that kind of thing. And I'm glad to see that they are doing something beyond what might be on their checklist to do. But that's kind of what we're here to do, is basically help them whatever way we can do. So thank you.
Thank you, Sam. Appreciate it. Building department. Police department. Excuse me. Come on, Martin. I was checking you out about this. What you got?
Good morning, Mayor, members of the council. Our monthly report for this month, we had 185 calls for service during the month of June. Drove 10,444 miles. Did 63 traffic stops, and of that, 7 citations, 40 warnings. We made 6 arrests during June and worked 4 traffic crashes. Also, I included for you guys kind of a comparison for the first 6 months of this year to last year. Basically, from January through June of this year, we did 1,080 calls for service, over the 978 from the previous year. Mileage is also up to 61,752, over 58,000 and change. Traffic stops took a pretty good jump, but our warning to citation ratio is actually more favorable for the drivers this year. And arrests, 25 this year to 16 for last year. Crashes are up to 11, over 9 from last year. Basically, if you start doing the math, divide things out, we're up about 5%, which, given the number of people and the building and everything that's gone over last year, is probably about right where we need to be. Also, I'm going to give a shout out to some of our guys here. We had a series of burglaries at a couple of our condo complexes in June. This is where I do the shout out for the 9 p.m. routine, they call it sometimes, on public service. Basically, help us help you by locking stuff. Basically, we had an individual come through a couple of condo complexes doing door pulls, checking run lock cars, things like that. We found out about it about 4 days after it happened through the property managers. Within 48 hours, he was in custody and charged with multiple burglaries. And also, we cleared up several cases in Gulf County on that. Also, we had another burglary that actually came to us. The homeowner had some cameras. He called that in as a burglary in progress. One of the flaws out here is if you call us, we are generally there pretty quick. So our deputy actually beat the details into the computer system in his car and actually passed the bad guys running away. That said, we were able to have the male suspect in custody within about an hour and a half. And 2 hours after that, we got the girlfriend trying to sneak out of town since we found the getaway car and did that. All of those involved, Sheila actually helped us out to help save her a little bit, and that cleared up 7 cases, including a child porn case in Gulf County. So, like I said, our patrol guys are out there working this stuff on heavy. Like I said, If you see it and it doesn't look normal in your neighborhood, let us know. We're here to help you guys, and the sooner we get it, the sooner we can fix it. We also had another theft from one of the condos here that was delayed by about 3 weeks, and we solved that one in 18 hours and had them charged. And in all those cases, both all burglaries and the theft, we recovered all the property. So
Good job. Good job. Thank you, Mark. Okay, building department.
Good morning.
Good
Building
morning.
department, been a little slow this month. June was, we permitted 14 new residences and 1 new commercial. That was June 1st until today, so slowed down a little bit. We're up to 235 new residences and 6 commercial since Mike. And we don't have anything significant happening right now. Any questions?
Question for Bill? 235, you said?
235.
235. Cool. All right, well, thank you. Code.
She's away on holiday.
Well, any,
On 14th Street, the old arcade, that came down this week, so that's the biggest thing that I've seen that's come down here lately.
I can give a brief update. Now or later, we have the 2 structures we intend to demolish. The bids are due back on July 22nd for those, so that's in progress. And we're still waiting on our title search reports to ensure that there aren't any banks involved in any of those.
okay. And we have special masters on board.
Correct.
We have a contract.
Thank you.
All right, Tom?
Good morning, Mayor,
Good
Council. Public Works, for the last 2 weeks, we completed 2 more storm water projects. Still got plenty to go. Cutting grass throughout the city. We were able to beach rake before the 4th of July, so the beaches did look good for the board. I want to give you an update where Mr. Jerry asked me about the signs. I'm sure he was. The first shipment is on the way. I got a call this morning. So we should get them sometime this week. The second shipment should come in next week, so we should have all our signs so we can start getting those put up. Also want to give an update on our sidewalks and crosswalks. The FDOT called me Friday. They're fixing to start on our sidewalks to repair the rest of the ones that we weren't able to do through FEMA and get the new 6 crosswalks put in. So that's going to start within probably a week or so. We've installed 5 more garbage barrels on the end of between 36th and 42nd Street south on the beach during the past 2 weeks. We replaced one that got burnt completely up during the 4th of July fireworks. So I guess that's the only damage we had. So we had a good 4th of July. We were able to help Kimberly get everything she needed done. All that went really well. For garbage, we picked up so far this month 169,080 pounds, and we ain't even halfway through the month yet. Second page here, I put a little information on the sanitation, just to give you an idea. One of our trucks, actually the second truck that the newest truck we have, has been in the shop now for going on three weeks. It'll take about $7,900 to repair. That's the reason that you're seeing rock. A lot of stuff on the roads is due to the oldest truck we have is 13 years old. It is wore completely out, but without that truck, we would be trying to run the routes out here with one truck. So, not making any excuses, but that truck's been patched, and that's where a lot of this debris is coming from. Hopefully, we'll get our other truck back here pretty shortly, so that's going to help. Troy, the mechanic, recommended that we try to replace those trucks every 5 years. The oldest one should get a new one. Talked to Mario about it. We're going to try to, in 2023, buy a new truck. I sent him an estimate the other day, about $191,000. That is for a bigger truck than what we have now. The truck we have now is about an 18-yard truck. This one I sent him an estimate for is a 25-yard truck. The problem we're having is we're now having to carry the garbage all the way to Steelfield landfill up on 79. They close at 4:30 in the afternoon. Our guys are having to knock off about 2:30 to make it to Steelfield, which is about an hour and 45-minute drive, or they don't get it done. So sometimes we don't even finish the route because of that. So just kind of give you an idea of where we have to drive to do that. Mayor, I'm going to go ahead and give you a report for the utility department also.
Okay.
Kevin's off this week. Line locates, we had 194. New services added was 10. Breaks, we had 7 this past month. Read-ins, read-outs for 20. Turn-ons for 6. Reconnects, 13. Water service requests, 41. Sewer service requests for 7. Other than that, everything in the sewer department is just normal turn-ons, turn-offs, and new hookups. Other than that, I think that's about everything.
Question for public utility?
Tommy, thank you for the information on the trucks. I appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
And has Duke ever gotten back to you about the lights that are missing from the hurricane replacing the street?
I just spoke with the guy the other day, and I think you've asked me that a couple of times, and there's a lady, I'll email her again, they're doing Duke Energy's in the process, and I know this sounds like they keep saying this, but they're in the process of going through the entire city, replacing the street lights that were gone from the storm. And he told me once they got that completed, he would get back. I'll get a hold of him and actually send him a message and ask him would he look at Colorado and let us know if there's some that's missing there, then we definitely can get those put back for you.
Okay, thanks, Tommy.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Tom. Appreciate it. David?
Yes, sir. Happy.
Okay.
Quick update on Sunset Park. That is still out to bid. Bid opening is next week. We've had a lot of interest. A lot of folks are interested in those plan sets. Hopefully we'll have a good result. As far as permitting goes, we are still working with the FWC to work out the lights on the pavilion. They had an interest in the restroom lights kicking on and off at night and the sea turtles. So I've got a call with them on the 26th. This will be the last page in the permitting side. On the 15th Street box culvert, we had a bid opening last week, and I believe that's on the agenda further down today. And then one more thing, if you recall last year, Dewberry submitted a grant application for the Under the Palms Park improvements, and we were notified yesterday that Mexico Beach has been selected, approved for that grant. So I'll get the information over to Maria and we'll process. We got it.
I want that, see that too, that's my part.
Yeah, fine.
We need that, put that on.
Is that CDBG? Question for Dewberry?
David, you were supposed to have something ready for 33rd Street?
I did. I went out and looked at it after the last meeting. Basically, what the plans, the road extension that we had already done, I talked to the homeowner, and basically, if we could do that section without doing the asphalt, that would create some additional area for the water to get for percolation. It will not satisfy or alleviate the issue that he has, but it'll help as far as what we need to do to get rid of the water completely. I mean, it's going to be an expensive option for the city because there's no stormwater in that area. So it's going to be a mechanical box, most likely with a pump to transfer the water back upstream somewhere into the system.
You don't think we can go between the two? One of them's the so-called and the other one's the actual built-up thing. You don't think we can make any kind of reservoir area right there? All we got to do is hold it long enough for it to dissipate.
Well, and that's what, if you look at the section that was approved prior for Columbus, there's swales on both sides of the road within the right of way. That would create some additional area for that water to get to. It would alleviate a chunk of that dune that's over there on the side. Like I said, it's not going to solve the problem. There's a lot of water going to that particular area that was before the house was built, and it's going to continue to go there. Another option would be to come back and realign 33rd Street, raise it up so the water would actually flow into where the walkover is, pedestrian walk to the beach. And several of the streets in that area, that's where the water does. It kind of flows through that path.
But this particular area, everything I saw before the storm, going all the way back to 2014, that water never actually crested the dune onto the beach.
Well, I've graded all my life, and I understand what you're saying. I'm going to disagree with you. It's a real easy problem to fix. All we got to do is just get back there like it was prior to the storm and make sure it's low enough so that it holds that water prior to washing out onto the beach. And I don't see how that's a lot of money. And everybody's afraid of the CCL lines and the DEP and all that stuff right there. But, that stuff was changed after the storm. When that dune was put back, it filled that area in. That's where that water was going to. And we got a homeowner that gets flooded every time. And,
I can bring up my aerial imagery with the council and show you that where that water was headed before the house was built.
Mm-hmm.
It was going onto that lot.
Yeah, but I'm not saying that it didn't get on it, but what I'm saying is it also went past it into that area back there. There's all the aerial photographs I've looked at. There was a dark spot down through there where that water went and settled out through. So, what do I need to do?
Every council wants to, I can set up a meeting, come with my computer and kind of show you what I was looking at.
Okay, so, and then we would have, but we're gonna have to, you say we're gonna have to run it through DEP or somebody if we get back there and work?
If we get and we start disturbing that dune again, because we're inside the CCL line, so DEP will have to be involved.
Well, we disturbed it already. We rebuilt it and disturbed it, so.
I mean, that's their.
It's just higher than it used to, it's higher than it used to be.
Right.
Don't you agree?
No, I mean, I think right now, I haven't surveyed the area of where the actual elevations are, but
Yeah.
just based on what I've seen, it was still higher than that lot. So that water was not getting through past that lot.
Hey, do you have any comment? Do you want to help on this?
Yeah, so there was never a home built there pre-storm. All this was permitted pre-Hurricane Michael. So the city signed off on the permit, signed off on the plans. The home was put there. There was an extension that was supposed to be done. And that water would have theoretically moved through there. And what Daryl's saying, and what I thought we had discussed, is if there's, if that right of way is cleared to allow water to percolate in, it theoretically should alleviate. Right now, water is going across my driveway into the back.
Yeah, and that's what I said initially. I said if we do the section of the road as per the original plan, it's not. I can't say for any certainty it's not going to solve all your problems, but it will certainly open up an area for that water to go other than your driveway and give it some more time to rest and percolate to the center.
How far are we getting approved on our pavement stuff for the road extension? I mean, because I talked to, who's the guy, you took his place? Josh. So I talked to Josh, they were gonna raise that road out there. We talked, and Josh had his boss there, they were gonna raise that section of road up.
Yeah, the plans that they had never included to raise the road. It still had the low.
I know it didn't. They said that they were gonna do that.
I mean, that's an option or an idea, but we don't have any plans for raising the road right now.
Okay, so, and I don't mean any disrespect, but the city is dumping water on the guy's lot, and I'm gonna get involved and see what I can do. Get done.
Yeah, I mean, it's got to get funded from somewhere, so I mean, if you want us to look at raising the road, we certainly can.
Well, what I'd like to do is set up a meeting with DEP or whoever is, and say, look, all we gotta do is just dig this out. We're not gonna affect anything. The area that stuff's in there, there's no COs on that.
No, I'm not saying they won't allow it. I'm saying we still have to go through the process with them, and it's going to be a timely process. I mean, as long as we disturb the COs, and we restore COs, and we're within our right of way, that most likely that will get permitted. It's just a process.
But what we're doing is we're kicking the can down the road. Let's go ahead and, I don't know what we need to do to get you to go ahead and get this thing going, because otherwise we're just going to talk about it every meeting and nothing's ever going to get done about it.
Well, and I'll kind of jump ahead to the stormwater topic itself. I mean, the stormwater within the city is, you have to look at it from a whole. You can't really address one problem.
I understand.
So it will solve itself within, when we go out and look at all the stormwater. I mean, we may have to divert some of the water coming off of 98 that's going down 33rd to another area to cut that water that's going down to that line in half. And then some of the problems, or some of the fixes that we just discussed might have a little bit better result.
Okay, when is that supposed to happen?
Well, I mean, we're in process of pulling that together now. I'm getting prices from our surveyors.
All right, thank you, David, and I honestly, I commend you for your hard work, I'm not trying to be disrespectful. So Jason, we're working on it, and we're not gonna drop it, we're gonna get you taken care of as soon as we can.
David, one question for me, is it a waste of time to do what I consider to be the simplest task, which is to excavate at the end of the road, that one small area that we can do? I mean, is that just, in your opinion, is that just a waste of time?
No, that's basically what I just
Why
said.
wouldn't we do that?
That's what.
Why would we do that?
That's the city's decision.
Well, we, see, way back.
That takes a backhoe in what, an hour, 2 hours?
Tommy had one of his guys, he had Ken come out there, and Ken's not the operator guys, but he cut it down deep, and then the operators came out and filled it back in. If they'd have left it cut down like it was cut down by Ken, it would be enough reservoir to hold that water until it dissipated, or soaked through the sand or whatever. So that's what I'm saying.
That's an in-house issue.
Listen, I'll take my Bobcat down there, and you know, it's an easy thing to do.
Well, all
You
we
just gotta
gotta
go ahead and do
do,
it.
I would like to see us do what we are allowed to do so that we can see what happens and see how much further we need to go with this thing. It might just work.
There you go. There you go.
Okay, well, that's what, Mark, can we put that on the road department? To go
I
down
would
there?
like direction from the whole council. I've got conflicting opinions, if you don't mind. And
My opinion, and I'm going to be conflicted, you know what you see. And I have nothing against the man. I've been down there so many times. I know where he put his sump pump in. I go regular to check his house when it rains. But if we're going to fix his, and I rode down every one of them streets from 29th to 35th, we got to address all of them. 4 streets. Yeah, it's not just his that I want them all. Let's don't go. And if you look at the man's property, you know, he does flood it. I mean, when you say his house, he's got pavers and he parks his cars there. He's got his house on stilts. And I just want, if we're going to go after this, let's go after every one of them houses, because every one of them dead in that water puddle right there at that standard. With 29th, I know.
I'm aware of no other person that has said that we flooded their house. So if we
That's
have,
the house, there's no house with water puddle.
I'm just saying I'm not aware of any others that have. Through
There's-
Mario, through Tommy, or through, I'm not saying there's not. I'm not aware of any. But if there are,
There's no homeowners down there to complain, so that's the reason it's not happened yet. But what he's saying is exactly right. And I can tell you that some of the photos that I've looked at shows an area back there where, you know, when water settles at that beach, it's a dark spot.
that's right.
Okay, so it's all down through there. And when the dune was built back, it filled it up closer.
I fully.
And so
I thought we
fill that
could
in.
excavate that area.
Yeah, that's all we got to do. We just got to go down through there and do an inverted swell down far enough to be a reservoir for all those. And then once we get more storm sewer work done, we divert some of that, it'll even help the problem more. But we have an easy fix as long as we don't have DEP or the CCL people slap us in the wrist. You know.
David, can you help staff stay out of going too far where they would need a permit from DEP?
We were
As long as we're working.
Permit was already granted, and then I had to file for the extension. I think at the last meeting I mentioned it. But the permit for the CCL has been granted since 2019.
So all we got to do is go down there and dig it out.
So Mark, what is it then? I mean, what I heard Jerry say is that we want to just do one. But I didn't say, or anybody else say that we don't want to try to do what we can do to see if it works.
While we're there.
That's all.
Yeah. Do we have a consensus?
Well, out here is the easiest fix. You're right here.
Well, he's talking about the same thing that we're talking
Yeah,
about.
I think, I just maybe said it different.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's all.
Yeah.
I mean, just do what we can do, work within the confines so that we don't get the airplane or the drone fly over, so oh, we shouldn't have moved that dune or whatever. And let's see what that results in.
Yeah.
And if it percolates enough water, we may not can do, it may not work on a 20-inch rain, but it may work on a 10-inch rain.
Right.
That's all. Do something.
Okay.
All right, thank you. All right. I don't know, I've lost track. All right, there you are, Brian. Not bad. Come on.
All right, so top of the list, we've got $1 million roughly on reimbursement for some old projects. I think I mentioned last time we were trying to get those through for the lift stations, municipal water system. There should be some more coming. The good news on that is that because we got one reimbursement now, that's indicative that now the state's finally looking at it and doing their validation on it. So that's good news for us, even if it's, as you all know, a long time coming. We also have paid out the contractors for private property debris removal, which is great. I know that's been something they've been asking us about a lot. Again, that one has taken a long time just trying to get it through the FEMA system, but that was nice to get them a little payout there. Right now we're working on trying to get the final advance request in for the debris project, which is crazy. I can't believe that I'm even saying that out loud, but that hopefully, it'll probably take several weeks before that all goes through the system and gets into our bank account. But we're on kind of the last stretch here for that, which huge amount of debris in the city, as everybody knows. I think over $50 million for it. So coming towards the end of those, which is exciting. The last three here, the big public assistance projects, the big three, the jetty, the pier, and the municipal complex. We had some success getting FEMA to agree on the scope for the jetty. They did ask us, and we're going to have to still go through this and have started work on this already, but we're going to have to do a benefit cost analysis to show that we're having long-term savings from the dredging by doing the jetty project the way we want to do it. So MRD has helped us out. They put together a bunch of model runs for different categories of storm. So we've got that data now on our side. I think they just sent it to us last Friday, so we're working through to try to put the benefit cost analysis together for that to try to get proof essentially on our scope there, proof of concept. On the pier project, folks at BDI, Stantec helped us out and put together justification on the deck elevation. I think that was the one kind of outstanding point for FEMA that they were not sure if we could justify it, so we had them put together a memo kind of explaining where we're coming from and why that's justified. And so we sent that into FEMA, and the CRC, the engineering team there at FEMA is doing their review on it now to see where we have a meeting with them tomorrow, so that'll be top of my list to ask them about, try to get an update on that. And then on the municipal complex, we are working on wrapping up the cost estimate and explanation for FEMA of all of our codes and standards related items for the existing site, so that we can try to show, that it's going to be cost beneficial to do it at the new site. That's still a work in progress, and I know the folks at Deeper and DAG are very close to finishing that up. Should have that, I think, this week, so hopefully we'll get that off the FEMA this week. A couple other notes of things we're working on. National Fish and Wildlife Foundation grant, which we got the task order approved, I think, maybe 2 meetings ago from you guys. Got work underway for that. We also finalized another grant scope and cost with FDEP for some revegetation work along the canals. And then we got word a couple weeks ago that the CDBG DR program is which is up through FDEO at the state level. They're putting out a second round of infrastructure dollars, and they're also putting out their HMGP match program, which we've been hearing that was coming out at some point, and now they finally gave us word that those are coming out. So those would be due in September, and we have the good news on that is we put together several applications for the first round of CDBG-DR, and we can really repurpose a lot of that for this next round. So it's from you guys' standpoint, it's great because it's not hardly any work on our end. We've already done all the front end work on that, so we'll just kind of resubmit those and hope to get a couple of those as well as we got one from the first round. Overall, on the FEMA public assistance side, $92 million for the obligated amount, and we got that extra $1 million that I mentioned at the top there in amount paid. So moving up a little tick up there. I'm hoping once we get this advance request for the debris through, obviously that'll be a bigger tick up. So that's my update. Any questions?
Ryan, if you'll give an update on the letter that we got from the governor.
Yes, sure. We did get a letter from the governor. I think we talked about this maybe 2 times ago when I was here, so it was about 2 months ago. The governor made an announcement that the state was going to pick up the local match. We got an official letter on that, and I think I said at that time that, this was great, 95% sure, but we wanted to make sure it got official. It is official now. It's just going to be another question for tomorrow for the FEMA folks and the folks at FDEM really is how does that play out in terms of practically getting the money into the city's system.
And we need that because some of that money has been paid out, so it's reimbursing us. So it's $1 million or $2 million. So it's a big chunk of money that will come back to the city.
So we'll start asking them, but like I said, that's a great official 100% now that they're going to help us out with the local match, which will really help a city like Mexico Beach, which is small.
Phase 2 dredging project.
Still in EHB review from FEMA.
How long can they say that? How long can that just be their answer?
I don't know. Clearly, at least 5 months because that's how long it's been. And believe me, every time I talk to them, I ask them about it. And that's their answer. I don't get any indicator if it's...
That's the environmental thing?
Yeah, exactly.
Even though we've already done it. We've done it once. Well, I mean, that may sound like I'm not... How long can they sit there and say, yeah, we can do it? Who do we ask?
I'll say this. When you go after a dredge and fill permit, typically DEP has 60 days to provide a comment, then you respond in that 60 days. So they can string you along for those periods of time, 60 days at a time. The real problem is the Corps of Engineers. The Corps of Engineers has zero timeline.
I'm not new to this. I fully understand. But
it's
if they was waiting for that, and I'm trying to just give you something to say.
Yeah.
We sat at the table for months, a year, arguing about, and they finally agreed to it. And the bottom line is they really didn't agree to anything. Well, we can't get it, we can't move anywhere.
Yeah. And I'm in agreement. I definitely will. I'll say to them tomorrow that, it's been since February, since it's been even just in the EHP, and it's been since longer than that we sat down.
Put that on your list.
Will do.
Thank you.
That's it. Thanks, Stephen. When you said Stephen, you said that.
All right, moving on. Thank you, Ryan.
Yep.
All right, moving to our regular agenda items. Number 1, we have an application for a planning and zoning officer. Tomorrow, this is obviously just your presentation that she's turned in.
She submitted her information. Again, we've had it out on our website and on Facebook looking for applicants. The pay is very low, which is probably why we have very few people applying. We appreciate them very much. It's a once a month typical meeting. On occasion, there's an extra meeting, and I'm saying this more so that if there are other people out there that would like to help, they can. But we've got one applicant, and she is here for you guys to consider.
Okay. All right. I like what you wrote. He's obviously been involved. Is there a motion to accept or discussion about Ms. Ward?
Who is she? Is she here? Is she here?
I do not know.
Ms. Ward, are you here? Okay.
Application was good, from what I was done. I make a motion to accept Jennifer Ward for the planning and zoning board.
I have a motion. Is there a second? No second? Still thinking?
Yes,
Maybe.
And why I'm thinking is, I didn't know that this was, and I don't Facebook or, so how would I?
You didn't know what?
I didn't know that we needed an office for the.
Oh, it's been advertised for.
Yeah, but how would I know? I mean, because I don't Facebook and I don't.
Because you did that.
Damn good reason. That's what I'm not saying.
Because you do see it's an alternate position. It's not a full-time position. But still, we advertise just like we do all the other openings.
And Mark, the
That was
P&Z
before.
meetings is just a function on the occasion that there's an opening.
Listen, no people.
Mr. Dickey?
Yes.
I got, man, they asked me about it, but I didn't know. It's right.
Why she didn't dig it?
She's on First Street. Well, she might work, and the planning board meeting is at 6 o'clock, so she might be available to be here for the planning board meeting at 6 o'clock.
Let's take it. That way we can do it next time.
Can we table it? Because I have it, I'm sorry. I
Well,
just
you
have
had
it.
plenty of time to look at it.
That was a smart head in the water too.
All right, we got a motion on the floor. Is there a second?
I second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? Call the roll, please.
Mayor Kathy?
Yes.
Mr. Pollak?
Yes.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Ms. Hall?
Yes.
Mr. Key?
Yes.
Okay.
And there is another position available, so if there is another person that would like a position, there is another position available. We will keep it posted on the website and keep it posted on Facebook. We notified everybody during the planning board meeting that we had
Another alternate position.
another alternate position. Yes.
All right. 206 Virginia, there's a variance request. Well, normally you just give us a quick rundown just for the record before we open the public hearing.
Yes, sir, Mayor. This is the person that wanted to build the accessory dwelling unit, and she was denied the accessory dwelling unit because you have to have the density on the parcel in order to get 2 units. So when she was denied through that process, she's now asking for a variance so that she can provide 2 units on a general single-family lot. She was told yesterday during the planning and zoning meeting, after she was denied the variance, that she could purchase another lot, and once she has 2 lots, then she can build a duplex. But you have to have the density within your ownership in order to do two dwelling units. If that didn't confuse you, I can draw.
So it's the variance request so that she can exceed the allowable density. I'm not aware of
And that was not approved.
that used for that.
And staff did not recommend approval. She wants a
Okay,
variance.
the variance request is to exceed the density.
Yes, sir.
And that's based on the size of her lot and the size of her house. Even though it's a duplex and it could be upstairs and downstairs, the overall footprint of the house exceeds the density.
The 2 units exceed the density. So she can
One
only have
lot can only have 1 unit.
And have a duplex.
No. One lot
Yeah.
can only have 1 unit. Period. No 2 units are allowed. If you own 2 lots, you now have 2 lots and you have the density for 2 lots. Is how you can do
Is this residential low density?
No, sir, it's
Residential general?
General.
Is the multifamily allowed in?
If you
If
have,
you have a large enough lot. She doesn't have a large enough lot to do 2 units. That's why she's looking for a variance. Six units to the acre. She doesn't own enough acreage to have 2 units in it.
I like Gina's explanation. Tell us why it can't be done, Gina.
okay, so she owns one lot. It supports one home. She wants to build 2 homes. She doesn't have a large enough lot to build 2 homes. Therefore, she needs a variance to the density in order to get a building permit for 2 homes on that lot.
Otherwise, she's gonna have to buy the lot next to her, and then she'll have the density, and then she can request a flat.
Or
She
she
puts the
can
flat
just
together, or.
build one home.
Yeah, okay.
So how are you measuring the density on that?
The density is 6 units per acre. She's got one, I think it's 75 by 100 wide. It doesn't work.
That's not, oh, I misread that, okay, it's 7,500.
She already got a pilings in too, I mean, that's the pilings already in for the house. Put 2 houses in one. Mother-in-law house, what we went through this last time.
Oh, yeah, that part I understand, I'm trying to figure out a upstairs, downstairs duplex. It's counting that as 2 units.
2 separate.
Okay.
Look at it.
I will residential general, that's what it says. Six dwelling units per acre. Can you explain to me, please, how does that? I don't want to beat this over. How does that exceed the density?
So at 6 units per acre, you need 7,260 square feet per unit. So her lot would have to be over 14,000 square feet in order to put 2 units in.
Gotcha.
She owns 1/6 of an acre. She needs more than 1/6 of an acre.
So we're not looking at just the overall size of the house. We're looking at 2 separate dwelling units times 2.
Yeah, the size of the houses could be whatever size they want.
You had 2 against you. You had 2 against you from the get-go.
No, I wasn't thinking that right. All right, so we have a density variance request at 206 Virginia. We're going to open the public hearing. Is there anyone here to speak for on that variance request? Close the public hearing, move to the table. I think we've somewhat explained it, but if anybody needs to explain it again or discuss it.
I have one additional comment. And it's, aside from this isn't normally done for a density issue, one of your standards in your variances is the variance, if approved, is the minimum necessary to provide a reasonable beneficial use of the property involved. And this property can already easily handle 1 house.
So, Chair will entertain discussion or motion.
Make a motion, we deny the variance on 206 Virginia Drive.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Call the roll, please.
Mayor Kathy?
Yes.
Mr. Pollak?
Yes.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Ms. Call?
Yes.
Mr. Key?
Yes.
Okay. Moving to number 3 is plat request on 30th Street. Or plat review, or plat, it says plat request, but that's not really the right term. It's a preliminary plat review.
It's a revision to.
Revision, I should have said, yeah. All right, Mario, just briefly.
Mayor, the person that is wishing to do this is here, but in general, what they've done is the original plat, preliminary plat that was approved had the same number of homes, pretty much the roads in similar locations. The biggest thing that was changed was they took out the marina and they took out all the work that had to happen in the water because I believe they couldn't get permits through the Corps and DEP to do that work. So outside of that, I think the density is the same, and that's pretty much it.
All right, we're going to open the public hearing. This is for what's called Sweetwater. It's on the north side at the back end of 30th Street. Public hearing is open for those that want to speak. Yeah, what you got, Lisa?
Last night, the public pointed out a number of major issues that we still have with this, and my question is, why not have the answers to those glaring questions before approval is given? For instance, the traffic flow is still a huge problem. I noticed in the drawings here that the setbacks are different. I don't know if the setbacks have been changed for this, but the setbacks are not correct. We don't know where the stormwater is going to go. So why not get answers to this before the approval is given for the revision?
Anything else?
No.
Okay. Next.
Good morning. My name is Frank James. I work for Brett Scarborough and Company. I've got with me today Richard Ferry, who works for Brent Holdings, the land group, the two companies we work together with. And I've got Sean Shanks, a professional engineer with Moorbass Engineering. To reiterate that we've come back to discuss the already pre-approved set of preliminary plans for Sweetwater development, and the differences, because Gina thought it would be a good idea for us to come back and discuss this, what I want to refer to as the Western Canal. Our proposal was to widen it and deepen it, and that's what we had brought to the city before. Through our water flushing study with the Army Corps of Engineers, it's been determined that if we widened and deepened it, it would not reach current requirements for canal flushing through title exchange. It doesn't now, but that's irrelevant. You know, if we're going to work on it, we would have to make it flush per Army Corps of Engineers guidelines, which we cannot do. We can reach the flushing guidelines from the Army Corps of Engineers on the main canal as it comes down to here. So we've got flushing there, we do not here. So that's the main change. Another change that we had taken into account per our previous discussion with public was the concern of the interior lots going over to the boat ramp. A lot of traffic there. So we chose to add a boat ramp. It's a double ramp within the property itself for the homeowners to utilize. Last night, it was a real good discussion. A gentleman who lives right off 32nd Street down here. He shared with us that without widening this canal, two boats really can't pass each other. If you pull out here and you see somebody coming, you gotta wait. And so if we put the boat ramp here, that'd just be a train wreck. And I value his opinion, his knowledge. So the discussion that we had yesterday evening was to move the boat ramp over here. It's real simple. We can fix that. So, once again, this is a preliminary plan. We've got some ideas on traffic control. We value that, your comments on that. We agree. And we would like to discuss that, not at this juncture, but have a sit-down meeting with the city to talk about traffic control as well. Other than that, if I can answer any questions, if I can't answer it, Sean or Richard can.
I got a question.
Yes, sir.
My name is Mike Kaiser. I have a property, 110 North 29th Street.
Okay.
According to the information that we received, there's going to be an access across 29th Street, across the canal. Is that correct?
Across the canal?
Yes.
No, sir. No, sir. If when we're done here, you're welcome to come look at this, or I'll bring it to you. But no, we're currently have no desire to go over the canal. No, sir.
Well, my biggest reason for that is this is inherited property. My wife's parents settled here in the late 70s. And they bought the property. And then later on, Charlie Parker recommended to them to buy some additional property, which they did, which covered the right-of-way so that 29th Street dead ends into our property. So I was wondering how that was going to be accomplished if we own that property.
No, currently there is no plan whatsoever to cross the canal at any point.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Any other to speak during the public hearing? Yes, sir.
Jimmy Spence, I'm on 36th Street, and of course, all the houses on the backside of that canal, all that traffic is gonna come down 36th Street, right?
On the northern side of the canal at this time, yes, sir.
Okay, you've got a boat ramp built within the community, but these people are gonna have to leave your community to come out and around to get to your boat ramp. Why not put a bridge over that western canal and keep all your people within that community and not bring them out on 36th Street?
Well, ideally, the people that live on the north side of the canal would either launch their boat initially from the private boat ramp within the community, or go to the county boat ramp. Either one.
They can't reach their private boat ramp, the 50 homes behind where 36th Street is.
Really have to go down the street and come back in.
Exactly.
Right, sure.
So if they park the boat at their house, like you talked about last night,
yes, sir.
They go in, they get the boat, they come back out, they launch the boat. They don't have a place to keep the boat, so they're going to have to pull back out and go back around, right?
Each lot will have a private boat slip.
But not where the boat ramp is, so they'll have to come back through the property.
You said you couldn't deepen the western canal.
That's right.
Would there be any boat slips on the western canal?
No.
So those people do not have a place to keep the boat in the water.
The folks on the western canal have direct access to the boat ramp. They won't have to go through 36.
Yeah, they would have no way to get to 36th Street.
The people that live
on the backside of that canal that's going to go down to 36th.
Show me so I can understand. I'm sorry.
It's okay. All of these houses.
Yes, sir.
They have to come out here and go around to go to your boat ramp.
Yeah, when you said western, I was referring to this one here.
Okay, we'll call it eastern then. Why don't you put a bridge across this and keep all of this traffic within your community instead of bringing it out here on the city street?
Well, it costs too much. I'm going to be honest with you.
Well, see, that's the problem. You in the business, of course, you here to make money.
All we want you to do is we don't want to get into just address the plan, not maybe, be careful where you head with this, please.
He's here to make money, right? I know it's going to cost money to put a bridge over this and keep it in the community.
Well, it's okay to make that suggestion.
That's
not what I'm saying. Okay. And you've done that.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Instead of bringing it out here, or either let these cars go out the boat ramp road, instead of, the condos are here, everybody walks down this road. Is there any plan to improve 36th Street? Because of all of this traffic that you're gonna put on it?
Improve it in terms of,
In any way? Sidewalks, anything?
Sidewalks be
at
cheaper
this
than a
time,
bridge.
there is none. I mean, that's a city street, that's like all the rest of it.
I know, but you're tripling the traffic on this city street, or quadrupling. But no plans to improve it.
Well, I don't know what, the word improve, as far as it's gonna stay the same width.
No sidewalk on the,
Well, that hasn't been discussed, that we would put sidewalks on 36th
Okay.
Street. But we could certainly.
okay, well, that's my only question, is why not could keep it in the community instead of coming out and putting all the traffic on us?
I got you.
Okay.
Okay, thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
If I may.
Yeah.
Just to address that real quick. Ideally, people wouldn't bring their boat and trailer down 36th Street on a regular basis. Ideally, they would leave their boat with a boat lift at their house. So once it's done, it's done. And I'm not saying that they're gonna not leave every weekend with it. I'm not saying they're gonna leave it there all year. None of us know that answer. But ideally, the boat traffic and trailer traffic would not be as bad as you think it would be. Also, I'd like to touch on one other thing, because several people are concerned about 36th Street traffic. And they've said double, triple, quadruple the traffic load. There's 48 platted lots on 36th Street, 37th Street, 38th Street, and I forget the other little street, East something, I forget, I'm sorry. There's 48 platted lots there, one of which is quadplex that was damaged in the storm and has not been rebuilt. It was a quadplex. We're proposing 50 houses. At best, it would double. So I just want to bring that point to let you know that we're not piling 200 houses there. We're really, at best, doubling the traffic load that you currently see.
While you're up, if you don't mind.
Yes, sir.
It's still,
Just a second,
Oh,
let's
I'm
finish
sorry.
the public here.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Then we'll get done. Are there other questions from the public at this time?
Hi, I'm Susan Wilkinson, and my house is at 104 22nd Street. But my question is, will these be rental units? I'm just listening to what he said about the boats, and will they be rented out?
Our plan is to be simple with what we're doing. However, after that sale occurs, they would have to follow a percentage. What we typically do in our subdivisions is we have a percentage that are allowed to be rental, and that's it.
I just see, that could be then people would rent a place that has a boat slip for a week, and then.
Yeah, we would create an HOA, homeowner association within the community to govern things like that. And of course, we would absolutely do what the city requires by code.
Others?
Yeah, I've got a question.
Yes, ma'am.
In looking at the map last night, where you have said that you were adding a way for them to park their boats and trailers. You were adding that on some of the houses?
Individual larger lots, not the smaller lots on the eastern side.
Okay.
There's, I think, 28 of those, but all the rest of them, we've actually enlarged our lot size from our initial offering a year and 3 months ago, whatever it was, and to allow a good sized footprint for the house, standard offsets on each side, and an additional 12 feet next to the house, so they can put their boat trailer there, and or store their boat and boat trailer, especially if it's the interior lots that do not have direct canal access.
Okay, so these are going to meet, even with your expansion of this, it's going to meet the setbacks 20, so I
Oh,
just,
yes,
10 feet, 20 feet in the front, 10 in the back, 7 out.
Whatever they are in the tourism mixed use, yes, ma'am.
On the print, it didn't look that way, and I just wanted to clarify that.
Yeah, it's hard to put 80 acres on a piece of paper.
Yeah, it
On
is.
tourist mixed use, the setback is 5 feet on the sides.
Oh, is it 5, and this is mixed use? But it's still, 20 in the front, Mario, 10 in the back?
It's all a little bit different, but it's because it's in tourist mixed use, which means that it's in a HOA type subdivision.
I can look at it.
I can tell you right here. Just so we
I don't
get
have
front
a copy.
12, side is 5,
Uh-huh,
rear is 20.
okay.
It's on the corner, it's 12. If you have a
So
corner
what's
lot.
the front?
12. Front is 12.
Front square, okay. All right, thanks, I appreciate that, that clarified that issue.
Okay, others? Yes, ma'am.
Joy Hutchison, 1403 Highway 98. So last night we were discussing about some of the traffic coming out at the shopping center.
Yes, ma'am.
So how many streets actually will be accessed by this?
We're currently working on that plan, and as we discussed last night, we've got a traffic study. We probably need to update that traffic study because it's been over a year now. We're willing to work with the city in any way. And like I said, we've got a couple of plans for traffic flow that I just really don't even want to get into right now. I got to talk to the city, see if it's even feasible. And we'll certainly talk more about traffic as this project comes along and comes back before public review. I'm not trying to put you off. I just don't, I don't have, this is what we're going to do. I don't have that right now because of some things that we're thinking about. And I'm not trying to not answer your question. I think if we can work out what we have in mind, it will improve the traffic flow better than you think.
Well, it just seemed like last night you focused more on these streets talking about them than what you're doing today.
That's correct. And last night we had a meeting and we talked at great length about traffic flow based on the public input. And like I said, I'd like to talk to the city to see what's allowed, what we can and can't do, and then bring that back to public time, public debate.
Others? Yes, ma'am.
Sonia Spence, will there be a traffic study that they do not do that is independent for the city?
No, ma'am.
So it's basically whatever they come up with.
Well, it'll have to be our criteria for, it's part of, I'm not sure, there's 3 streets that abut this property. I mean, that's not gonna change in the city. I mean, those are the.
So 36th Street is definitely gonna be used. You couldn't use like
Yes, ma'am.
a street
36th Street
that they
is-
built out by the boat ramp road or, so our whole residential street is gonna be changed without question. And we own 2 properties there at
It'll be
36th Street.
affected, definitely. As far as, it will certainly, is part of the plan.
So Boat Ramp Road, that road that runs out there, they couldn't use that for their neighborhood connection.
Only because I was here when we told them that road wouldn't be open, your neighborhood was up in arms about that, so I don't think, I don't see the traffic flow as that big a problem personally, so I don't think of it as any other city streets where you build houses and,
I mean, 50 homes are gonna come down my street.
Well, I don't think it'd be that anymore. I mean, yeah, I understand, it's more complicated. Others for the public hearing? Yes, sir.
Just clarification on where you're coming across. You just said there's no bridges going across any of the streets.
Currently, that's correct.
Where exactly down on 29th you've got it coming out now? We talked last night about going on 30th next to Ace Hardware and all that, where they're just commercial buildings, no homes there at all.
Once again, I would like to refer to the fact that we had an at length meeting last night, talking about traffic flow, and I'm not trying to push out. Honestly, I'm not trying to, no offense to any politicians in the room, I'm not trying to be a politician. I don't, we've got some plans that might work, and if they do, I think everybody will like that. But I don't know if that's allowed, I don't know if we can. I just ask you to give me a little time on that.
And on 29th Street, everybody, I believe they thought the bridge was gonna come across, right? Everybody thought there was bridges coming across.
No plans,
Just
no.
First time ever, I've been to a lot of meetings, but I've heard that there's not gonna be bridges.
We-
First time they've ever heard it. They live on 29th.
I don't know who told you that, but we've never proposed a plan that has any bridge.
Frank, if I could, in one of the earlier,
Yes.
in one of the earlier plans, it was not among our group. It showed a bridge over the canal.
Oh, the original, the previous owners. Yeah, actually, that had nothing to do with us, yeah.
People that live there thought that's the way it was.
Yes, sir.
No.
So there's a little confusion. So I just looked at the plan now, and
There's no bridge.
it doesn't seem like there's a bridge.
No, sir.
Anyway, they were talking about yesterday, was going on 30th. and so-
Best we can, if there's a couple hurdles in the way, but that would be
Yeah,
obviously the
or-
better.
change it.
Yes, sir.
It wouldn't affect as many people.
That's right. Alleyway behind us.
People that have, homes there for many, many years.
This is hard. That's a good one.
Okay, so, I got you.
That's a fish.
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, if there's not gonna be a bridge somewhere, how are these people gonna get across the canal? They don't fall out of an airplane? I mean.
Normally they access from if you, later on, if you'd like to see the
Yeah,
plan,
like that one.
they access from 36th Street for the ones on the north side of the canal.
About 29th Street, that's where my home is.
Okay.
And 36th, and I don't know where the other, because we never received any information as to these particular things, and this is the first meeting that we've been to, and we did receive a letter. Because we were in the process of getting our house back together, we lived in another state, now we're here, you know, I mean, we came every weekend, but it wasn't feasible for us to drive 2.5 hours to come down here for the meetings and then drive home. So, but that's what the hearsay is, 29th Street, which has already been approved, from what I understand, correct?
And you say 29th Street's been approved for,
Road to cut through to these homes that you're building also, just like 36th Street is. I mean, maybe I'm wrong, I don't know.
Just the preliminary plat was approved. So basically the same thing we're bringing before you today. This is just a revision to that approved preliminary plat.
Yeah, I'm still not clear. I mean, the letter that we received said 26, 27, 28, 29.
I don't know who sent the letter. We have not seen any letters, so.
There are three lots located here that could be accessed by 28 and 27. That may be why those were included.
Yes, that makes sense. Because there's 3 lots that are at the end of the street.
Yeah, they'll be accessed.
At 28 and 27.
Yes, sir.
Okay. We're on 29, the reason I was asking.
There's no access road. Just existing street.
Other comments? Are there other, before we close the public hearing? Okay. Thank you, everyone. We'll close the public hearing, move the table for council comments. Again, this is a preliminary plat amendment. All the construction plans, all of everything that goes with submitting a development order is yet to be done and yet to be approved. So this is not there's a lot of things that have to happen before anything else happens. This is a preliminary plat. So that's my only comments. Anybody else?
Okay,
Any
mine.
questions for Frank?
Mine. I used to live on 29th Street. Right now, the whole interior of what you showed is going to empty out on 29th Street. You got a few more streets here. Can't handle it.
We've never.
Can't wait. Let me finish. Okay, before I can say, I would agree with anything, I would need to see how you got more area for people to get to 98 besides going one street. And it'd be kind of hard to get that street in there from where, if I remember the locations of their property, where 29th Street ends, the city property on one side of it, where you got stations, lift stations, everything else. You're gonna have to show me a little bit more before I can.
Grab your readers, come here. Grab your readers, so you can see, I want to show you something real quick.
I can see right
Oh,
here.
okay, good. All right, well, would you like me to turn it some for you?
No, you're good.
Okay, good deal. I just want to make sure you see it. 29th Street.
Right.
Also, we're not showing one right now, but we can use 30th
You're gonna have to
Street.
show it to me. You're gonna have to show it to me before. I can't take, well, we might do this. I'm gonna have to see it.
Okay. We're showing 31st Street.
Where?
Right here. Right there on the plan, 31st Street. Going into the property and coming out on 32nd Street. So it's not, certainly not all 29th Street.
The one I see on this map and this map here, I can't see the roads.
Okay, I don't want
I'm
to say
sorry,
sorry.
I just can't see, I can see the roads. And again, their property is right here. You got city property right here, where you try to get into. I don't see how you're gonna do it. I'm not against your project, you just gonna have to show me how you're gonna do it.
Okay, well, all right. Yes, sir.
In defense of Bobby, it's not really clear on here. I looked at it and I can say, well, they're evidently consider that, but a little notation on this thing, these things are really dainty for us too, by the way, so.
Well, I can tell the lady it's hard to put 80 acres on a piece of property.
No, I understand, and so you haven't made it clear that you're gonna access, that's an exit, entrance, or anything on this thing. And what Bobby's saying is, before he gives any kind of approval, you're gonna have to at least put a note on there and say, we're gonna leave and enter right here, and right here, and right here. Is that correct, what you're saying, Bobby? And it's not showing clear here where they're leaving. Okay, so.
I can't do promises.
What
you put something down, I can do it.
I understand that this is preliminary. I understand there's a lot of stuff that has to happen. But I would like for you to address two issues to the best of your knowledge at what you know this time and what you think may happen based on your experience. Two things, storm sewer and the traffic flow. Now, I know that you got to do traffic studies and you got to do all that, but you can't go and spend this kind of money and expect to do this kind of development without already having to put a lot of thought into where this traffic's going to go. Because you have to know when you come into a community, the community is going to be really tense about what kind of traffic we're going to get in our already, quiet little neighborhood. We're going to put 50 homes like they're saying, and all that's valid. So please, if you would, with what you know and what you think is going to happen, address the two things for me, storm sewer and traffic. Which way is going to go?
Yeah, so storm sewer will be designed for the 25-year event. Everything, we have the benefit of a canal that's connected to the Gulf of Mexico. Everything will be discharged into the canal. There'll be a seawall built around the canal to help control erosion. There will be a water quality component that will treat all the water before it's discharged. Detention isn't required because essentially we're connecting to the Gulf of Mexico. We've discussed this preliminarily with DEP. And then for traffic...
excuse me. Go a little deeper into how you're going to clarify the water, clean the water. Tell me that again.
Well,
where's your storm drain? Is it going to jump in from everybody's property straight in?
Well, we'll have a collection system in the roadway.
Where is that going to be?
It'll be, if it's not curb and gutter, there'll be side ditches that collect the water into pipes.
We're gonna have grates that we're gonna drop into a storm sewer. All right, that's a lot of water on a big, especially on a big rain event, that's a lot of water.
Right, we're typically designed to do a 25-year event.
Okay, so what you're saying is that pipe's gonna be big enough so that it's a reservoir big enough to where when it dumps out, it's gonna be able to handle all of that water from that street there.
That's correct.
Okay, so do you have any idea how many exits into that canal that's gonna be?
It could be 3, it could be half a dozen. It just depends
Yeah.
on grading and how that all lays out.
Okay, so all that's gonna come out, and we're gonna have a culvert through seawalls where they dump right out right there. Okay. All right. And they're gonna be dumping out on these areas where these people have their boat lifts. Because they're gonna be a boat lift probably, if not to begin with, at least before long, probably on all of them. I would think.
Right.
If I bought a lot in there, I'd want to vote with it. So that's gonna dump in. Now what about the stuff on the inside? Where's all that gonna go? Storm sewer wise?
Well, it'll all, the site will be graded to where the commercial will be at grade, and then as you move through the lot, or towards the canal, the property will fall off, houses along the canal will be on stilts. So we're basically building in some gravity flow, so it'll all flow out to the canal.
Okay, so we're gonna dump everything in that canal up here on your plan. Nothing on the side canal over here or anything. Okay. Okay, so now traffic flow.
Well, traffic flow, we've got 4 potential connections with 36th, 29th, 30th, and 31st. We don't encounter many properties where we have that many choices or opportunities to distribute flow. And like we said, we did a traffic study last year. It was completed sometime in August, sent to the city, and before the discussions between the developer and the city began on any kind of off-site improvements to help existing and future flow, everything was kind of shut down.
Okay. I do need to come look. Looks to me like that's private property right here. So there, to there. How are you gonna dump that road in there? Are you gonna buy that piece of property, or what are you gonna do there? You're talking about 29.
Well, I believe all of the title work we've received show that as public road. If it's not, we do have.
No.
If it's not,
It's
recorded.
We do have
Charlie
more.
Parker
We have
did
more
that
room to
property.
bring that road in. 'Cause I believe it stops.
That brings them.
We have a road to sweep that road in.
Okay, so I'm not against you or for you yet. I'm just still researching. I think you'll find out that you're gonna have to do something different there, whether you bring it in here or bring it somewhere else, because these folks say they own that property. And I don't think you're gonna want a road there, right?
It's recorded.
Yeah, I mean, that's the purpose of why that
Okay,
property
so
was
just-
deeded.
So just a
So
heads
a
up.
road would not come through.
Okay, so we got a good heads up on it now, and they know they're gonna have to research and do it. You might make a good sale on the property here, I don't know.
No, I'm not selling that.
Okay, all right, so anyhow, and then we got what, 31st? All right, it's not showing really clear on our plan. A nice little note there that said, entering, exiting, or whatever. All right, so there's that one. Then we got 36, which is up here.
And then we have an opportunity to create one at 30th.
Okay.
If the traffic.
If you need it for the traffic. Okay. And all that's gonna be, you're gonna have to do that, but please, the next plan, if you would let us know that, because you didn't put us anything on there.
Okay. Well, the next time you see it, it should be a full design with all the off-site improvements included, and if 30th is the better route, it doesn't change our overall layout on the front.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, Nick.
I believe that the documents that the council has for approval differ from this conceptual master plan. Is it your intent, you want this adopted or what's been presented as preliminary?
This was just more of a presentation.
Okay.
What we submitted is what.
Right. So the preliminary plat that everybody has, less clear about showing roads, it's more clear on this, but we're focused on what you have in your packet. That's what is presented for adoption.
Okay, other questions?
My concern is, can we handle this? The infrastructure handle
Oh, yeah.
this?
That was done prior to, for back when they asked for it. I assume you're talking water, sewer.
Water sewer.
Yes.
Okay.
We
And
have that.
at what capacity are we at now? Does anyone know that?
We have capacity for water and sewer. I can't tell you exactly, but we have capacity for water and sewer.
I think it was 2017, there were starting to be limitations on capacity and the city purchased an additional allocation.
Yeah.
And then in addition to that, with so many homes being out of service now with hurricane, there's a lot of capacity.
A lot. I was just concerned, we just keep going and going and going. Are we gonna be able to handle it?
The thing with me, I called Gina, and I knew I could her for a lot, and asked her. And she said, we done this last year. And then now we're doing it back. And we done it one time. Is that correct, Gina?
That's right,
I won't throw you under the bus, girl.
These guys are here because I asked them to be here.
Yes.
They sent me a plan and they said, hey, we made some changes. What do you think? Do we need to go back before the council? I said, yeah, the council needs to see it again. Public needs an opportunity to talk about it. So the preliminary plat has already been approved. What we're here talking about is the changes to the preliminary plat. So could they have come with a full set of plans a year from now and said, hey, we want, we're here to get a development order approval? They could have. They could have got denied too. But they're here because I asked them to be here.
And you asked them to be here primarily for?
Because of the changes, because they eliminated the marina, they added the boat ramp.
Lots of bigger.
Lots of different size. The canal isn't widened. The canal is a huge, huge thing here in Mexico Beach, and I thought that, everybody needed to hear that. So they're here for the changes to be approved so that they can continue on with their permitting processes and designs and things. Now, I don't know procedurally if this council has a different opinion than the council that approved it previously. I don't know exactly how that would work.
Yeah, we were here. It was there. It was us.
Was it you guys?
Approved. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Other questions? When they're here? Okay, if there's not.
One other, just maybe not a question, kind of a clarification. They still got a lot of hoops to jump through.
Absolutely.
And at any of those hoops, they're either going to fail or succeed. And everything they're going to do is going to be based on our LDR and everything that we do normally. What kind of, from your perspective, Gina, how do you get involved with the traffic? Do you get involved with the traffic?
Yeah, so when they got approved last time, that was one of the big things is we want a traffic study. So they went out, they hired someone, that person contacted me. I think I spoke to her 4 or 5 times during the process of her doing her study.
Let me interject one now, and she has a fiduciary responsibility to not do anything that just takes care of their interest, but everybody's interest combined, right? The cities, everybody, traffic study.
Yeah.
Right. So it's not like they hired their buddy to go do this.
I don't know if they hired their buddy to go.
Well,
okay. The woman did a good traffic study. They submitted
Okay.
I started the review process. I spoke with Mario, I believe we talked about actually getting another engineer to look at it, maybe Newberry or somebody to
Yeah.
put some more eyes on it.
Right.
And then the project died. So that's kind of where we left it.
Okay.
So they did do their due diligence on that previously.
Okay. And then, I cut you off, I'm sorry.
And then that was it. The project died, and
Okay.
then they contacted me, I guess a month ago, and said, "Hey,
Okay.
you know, we're back up and running, and we've made some changes."
I like the project. I like the project if it's gonna work good and we're not gonna swamp our people with traffic. If we got plenty of places to get in and out of it and all that kind of stuff. I mean, it's, you know, we're a fishing village and a canal with boat lifts and stuff that helps you do that is, I don't know of a better use you could do of it right now, thinking. And it's gonna be great for our taxpayers. As long as we don't put all of our residents that are here now, you know, out for it. So,
All right, any other questions from the table? All right, Chair will lead us. Any further questions, or we can entertain a motion for the acceptance of or the denial of the preliminary plat.
well, I thought we.
Changes, well, it's,
Changes.
I guess we just have to identify that, because Tina's right, the preliminary plat has been approved.
Yeah.
So we will deal with the changes.
The reason why we're here today is you don't want a final plat presented that significantly varies from your preliminary plat.
Right.
So they're getting permission ahead of time to do these kinds of changes rather than in 9 months from now, 12 months from now, coming forward with a plat that you don't recognize because it doesn't look like what you previously approved.
Okay.
I understand what you're saying, but I would still rather see something about the traffic before I can go. I'm like Darryl, I like the project. Our people cannot be hindered in the traffic or whatever in doing it. So if you can just show me that, you got my blessing.
Well, so we need a motion that says we like the changes, but we don't have any problem with the changes that we made on the plat that we've already approved. Preliminary plat we've already approved.
Preliminary plat request changes, is that how you want me to word it?
That sounds appropriate to me.
How about Nick?
Does it sound legal to you?
Preliminary plat request changes?
It would be simpler just to approve the new version of the plat that's presented.
Okay.
Approve the new version. You can do it.
All right.
Go ahead.
I make a motion that we approve the new version of the plat based on the fact that it's larger lots and they still have studies to do. Can you call that in there?
You've got to ask Nick.
That's fine.
Okay.
I second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second, further discussion? Call the roll, please.
Mayor Kathy?
Yes.
Mr. Pollock?
No.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Ms. Call?
Yes.
Mr. Key?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you, everyone. That's number
Four.
number 4. 764.
Ms. Campbell.
That's good. All right, number 764 is the second reading of ordinance 764. Do I have a motion to read by title only?
I make a motion to read by title only ordinance 764.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Could you call the roll? Could you read it, please?
Ordinance 764. An ordinance of the City of Mexico Beach, Florida, amending the Land Development Code to allow the city administrator to approve certain lot splits that involve going back to the lot boundaries shown on a recorded plat, providing for codification, repealing ordinances or parts of ordinances in conflict, providing for severability and an immediately effective date.
Is there a motion for adoption?
I make a motion, we approve ordinance 764.
Second.
So we have a second. Is there any comments, questions? Call the roll, please.
Mayor Kathy,
Yes.
Mr. Pollock,
Yes.
Mr. Smith,
Yes.
Ms. Call,
Yes.
Mr. Key.
Yes.
All right, thank you. Number 5. Excuse me. Is the first reading of ordinance 765 that deals with the accessory dwelling units. Is there a motion to read by title only?
I make a motion, we read ordinance 765 by title only.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Please read.
Ordinance 765, an ordinance of the City of Mexico Beach, Florida, amending the Land Development Code to eliminate Section 2.05.01 regarding accessory dwelling units and other references to accessory dwelling units, providing for codification, repealing ordinances or parts of ordinances in conflict, providing for severability and an immediately effective date.
Well, that's just the first reading. Let's add that to our agenda for our next regular monthly meeting this time. Yeah, absolutely.
So Gina, this is everything, we're just getting rid of the way it was worded because it was worded incorrectly. It should have never been worded that way. Nick, Gina, correct?
Eliminating all the accessory dwelling unit rules because we're not going to use them. They're not necessary.
Thank you.
Got it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. What about just, I don't know if this is a good time, but I'm gonna ask you, so whatever's out there now that's an accessory dwelling unit is just a grandfathered in?
Or it can be categorized as a duplex that's also allowable under the rules.
But if it's not compliant.
If it's not compliant, then what?
Non-conforming structure. It's not.
Non-conforming structure?
Yeah.
Okay, it just creates a non-conforming.
Right. Which means it can stay. You just can't.
Yeah, can't add to, can't take, I got it. That's what I thought. First reading of ordinance 766, Dick, help us here.
Yes,
Sure.
please.
This is related to a rezoning request. It's an individual parcel. It's not a big area of land like we've done in recent past. The process on this it's a little confusing, and we haven't done a lot of these. So the reason why you would have a first reading of a rezoning ordinance today is the rezoning requires adoption of an ordinance, so 2 readings. We would do a full-blown hearing at the next time this ordinance is before you to do all public input and get all the discussion about whether or not to adopt. This is just on the agenda today to keep the process moving forward. First reading doesn't indicate approval or denial or like or dislike. It's just like the other ordinance you just did. So it's a step in the process, and we would do the full hearing at a later meeting when we're doing second reading.
Mayor, staff did not recommend approval, and the planning board did not approve this.
I have received a question about the townhome district. Is there a certain threshold about what could or couldn't be changed to townhome district based on either what used to be on the property or how large the lot is? I look back at the ordinances, and a lot of the ordinances we have, they have several whereas clauses that provides the background of the intent. Those whereas clauses are pretty clear. The intent was to prevent people from having to come get variances to rebuild townhomes on very small lots. The actual parameters, though, that were put into the land development code, they don't have those strict requirements, but that was the original intent.
Is there anyone here today because this is on the agenda?
What address are we talking about? I didn't hear that.
110 40th Street?
Yes, I'm here because of that. I own the property.
You're the owner of 110 40th Street?
Yes, sir.
Do you have a comment?
Yes. My name is Joe Lindsay. My family's been
next door to me there since the 1980s. I saw the property next door that had a quadruplex on it that was destroyed by the storm. The quadruplex, though, was on an undivided lot. The family's been growing, and I saw that property and I said, it would be great if we could fit 3 more family members on that lot next door. Now let me tell you this, is I'm surrounded by divided lots, all right? And I saw getting this reclassified as townhome as an avenue to go to get the property divided. I understand I'm grandfathered in, and I can replace the quadruplex with a quadruplex with an undivided interest in the whole property. That's not what the family wants. What we would like is to have the property divided by whatever means. It might not go through the townhome redesignation avenue, but we want the property divided in 3 and do something very similar to what is right next door. As I said, I'm surrounded by divided properties, so this is not going to stick out like a sore thumb in the neighborhood. Townhome district behind me, and to the left and to the right is a divided property that's in the family and has been for about 35 years now. The family's growing though, and we're running out of guest bedrooms and sofas for people to sleep on.
It sounds like whether this is approved or denied, they're eventually going to have to present a small replat.
I understand that, so I'm here to buy a foul.
I hear you.
Which one?
Okay. I have a much clearer picture of what I was, to be honest with you, confused in the back of it. All right. You have any other comments?
I don't. There's some neighbors might have some comments.
Okay. I'm just saying that you know me, and we came back through here about 3 years ago. We got our 3 houses on the property. Well, only 2 of them have been built yet. And this is the next property up. We have no objection to that being divided up the way that he was.
For the record, your location and your name, please.
I'm John Cole, 112 40th Street, C and B.
Right, we're the adjoining property.
Gotcha.
And this is our brother.
Yes.
But
good.
It seems to me that because you've got townhouses toward 98 from where his property ends, behind him, and then we got our divided properties right here. It's not going to disrupt the flow from my perspective.
And we were neighbors to the property that he bought since the 80s. And there were 4 houses on that lot, and the city provided utilities to the 4 houses, 4 individual utilities. So I'm scratching my head why you're now not considering it in the townhome district as individual. And the fact is, he doesn't want to rebuild 4 houses. He wants to decrease the density by replacing it with 3 houses.
Okay.
A divided lot.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Is there anyone else that is here? This is not an official hearing. It is because it's on the agenda. There may be some that came to hear what was going on. Okay. As our attorney said, it would be a first reading. I think the information provided gives us all a little better feel. Can you tell me, Mario, the denial was based on that it's because the criteria of the lot was larger than there was never a townhome on it?
Correct. Again, the general guidelines that the council gave us to create the townhome district was that the original lot had to be 20 or so feet or less. and this lot is 75 feet, and it had, again, it's a 75-foot wide lot, so we would have never made it into a townhome.
Never would have been part of the criteria that would have brought it in. Nick, help me here in the procedurally. We have I totally agree that if we move forward with this request, it would have to be a replat
Eventually, yes.
at some point.
May I add something? I'm sorry, we're ready to build. So the replat would happen imminently.
There can't be individually chopped up units without a replat.
Right.
And can I add something?
Yes.
We have the adjoining lot, and there is enough, the setbacks for 3 separate builds have already been determined by the lot next door that we own, that there is enough room on the lot to build 3 houses and have the proper setbacks.
Mayor,
That's getting the cart before the horse.
may I ask one question?
Yes.
You have a 75-foot wide lot. Are you going to add to that 75-foot wide lot? Or are you just going to use the 75-foot wide lot?
It's been done. We had.
You have a 75-foot wide lot. Are you going to buy another lot on
No.
top of the 75?
No,
Okay.
no. We already have 3 houses on that lot.
Sorry, Mayor.
Yeah. All right. In order to move forward, if we were looking to sell a vowel,
Yeah.
the procedure, because of the 75-foot lot,
Yes.
that didn't qualify in the original townhome district.
Yes, sir.
But if we wanted to move forward, that would require a survey replat of that property that would divide it into 3 lots. I'm looking at you, Nick. Isn't that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Is reading this first ordinance, and I'm not making the assumption that we would or we wouldn't, I'm just simply trying to get the procedure down. Is it appropriate to wait till we have the hearing, quote, which is going to be a requirement, wait till if they want to request a replat? Because I don't think that's what they've requested here.
They haven't. It doesn't have to happen at the same time, but
Okay, it does not.
the eventual goal of the project is going to necessitate a replat. I mean, changing the zoning from residential high density to townhome, it'll give them somewhat different rules on things like setbacks, but that's not exactly what's controlling whether there can be 3 units there.
Well, then let me get counsel, are we, I think I'd ask that. If we want to move forward with the rezoning, that's what this ordinance does. This is the first reading that allows that property the opportunity to become townhome district. That's all that's really for us. This packet and the information that we've heard just sort of gives us additional. But the request, or what's on the agenda, is to make the first step in rezoning that parcel to the town out of, what is it, tourist residential probably?
Tourist residential.
Okay, into townhome district. If there's an interest in doing that, then I think it would be appropriate to move forward with the request for the first reading. I think I've said that right.
Anyway, it's confusing there, to me it is. Like to me, we need to do something before we read the ordinance. I didn't quite, and I see what you said.
Well, it's just the first reading. It doesn't mean that anything happens. It just says that we're going to look at rezoning that parcel to townhome district.
Before he does anything.
It's really to set the hearing for the full discussion and presentation.
Right. Well, I think what he's hearing, if we do this, I would make the assumption that he's heard enough to know that a request for a replat would be required. He hasn't made that request, hasn't really had any reason to. If he doesn't get the rezoning, the replat wouldn't matter anyway.
Well, the one thing I want to try to clarify somewhere, this original place was one building with 4 units instead of 4 houses.
It was 4 units. It had 1 roof, 4 entries, 4 porches. It was 4 units.
They were separated?
And it was owned by 4 different people. And you gotta understand, this was built, I don't know, our house was built in the 50s, and this was probably built shortly thereafter or around that time. So it's got a long history of being 4 houses owned by 4 individual people.
Well, why wasn't it taxed that way? It was taxed in one place.
I don't know. A lot of things happened 40, 50 years ago. I can't tell you.
It almost acts like a condominium.
Yeah, it acts that way, but it wasn't. Okay, for me, this seems like a pretty logical request of what they want to do, based on what you see here. But that's not really what's at the heart of this today. Is nothing more than the first reading that would allow this property for rezoning. I understand why it was denied, that fully understand. It simply didn't meet the criteria that was set up when we first started. But that really is going to fall on this table plate to make that decision. So, again, questions? Or move forward with the first reading and see what the next 30 days shakes out and how when we get to what Nick said, there'll have to be another hearing, an official hearing, a noticed hearing.
Nothing's gone in the newspaper yet. We haven't told anyone we were setting this for adoption yet, so we would do that.
So,
I'd like to wait till we do that. That's my opinion.
Would we require a letter of intent? Would that be necessary? If they're going to replat, rezone?
Again,
They have to.
even if they got this, they still couldn't do anything until they replat. So they'll be before you at least 3 more times.
Yeah, the replat takes, that's a procedural thing too. But it's not like we just decide all of a sudden we just
Step
replat.
before. And if you shut them down now, they don't take the other 3 steps.
I'm like you. It was a quadplex, not a duplex, four different people. I don't see the sense of making them stop at this point. I think what they're doing is going to actually fit in better to that area anyhow. Is my opinion.
If we have to move that procedure along.
Yeah,
We can't just.
So that's what I'm saying. I think I'll make a motion that we read by title only. If we're ready
Okay.
for it.
Yeah. We have a motion. Is there a second? Okay. Is there a second? I'm going to relinquish the chair. And second the
I'll go
motion.
ahead, so you don't have to. I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. To read by title only.
Right.
Please do so.
Ordinance 766. An ordinance rezoning from high-density residential to townhome district that certain parcel of land lying within the city of Mexico Beach, Florida, containing approximately 0.172 acres, located at 110 40th Street, with parcel ID number 04108-010-000, all as more particularly described in the body of the ordinance, repealing all ordinances or parts of an ordinance in conflict, and providing that this ordinance shall take effect immediately upon its passage.
Thank you for reading. Okay, that is, again, put us on our notice for the 30 days for second reading, and in the meantime, all of us can digest what we want to do. Okay, Resolution 2128, which is number 7. Mario, this one is, got you all over.
Yes. This is hot off the press. I would have given this to you earlier. Mayor, we put out a set of construction documents for the repair of the 15th Street box culvert. When we did that, there was damage on the 15th Street box culvert from Hurricane Michael. And then 2.5 years later, there was damage to it from Hurricane Sally. So what we did was we put out one contract with double the work, which usually buys down your price. So that's the logic behind this. And when the price came in, one of the challenges we had was to take that price and break it into the two separate projects. So what this spreadsheet does is it breaks the two projects down. So one project came in at $259,000, the other project came in at $223,000. This should fall within all the FEMA monies. We're working towards it falling within all the FEMA monies. Until we get it out in front of their nose, we won't know for certain, but that's what we're working towards.
Excuse me before you continue.
Yes, sir.
Give me those two numbers, two.
On the bottom right-hand corner, there's a $251,000 and a $223,000.
Okay.
And one is Sally and one is Michael. The beauty of Sally is that it's an open-ended contract. Whatever it costs, it costs. The problem with Michael is whatever it costs, we've already agreed to because it's a 428. And we still have some refining to these numbers to make sure, but if we're over by anything, it's going to be on the Michael side. And I hate to say this, but trust me, give me a contract for $400-something thousand and I'll make it work. Again, keep in mind it's a 428, so I can borrow from other 428 monies, and if it's over by 20 some odd $1,000, we'll have $20,000 on another 428.
What are you seeking? Today is
the
to
total
approve. I mean, you know,
I need a contract for $483,080.40 with North Florida Contractor, and they were the only bid. This was advertised. Probably 6 or 7 people picked up the documents, and we only received one bid, which unfortunately is typical because every contractor in Bay County has their hands full and then some.
And we will be able to pay for it. That's the thing.
Yes, sir.
Within $20,000.
Yes, sir.
That's the minimum. Stormwater. Are you ready?
oh yeah, I don't know anything else to say about it. It's just one of those.
And this is stormwater.
I know.
Anything.
We're gonna have to just put some faith that we don't get her done. I'm ready.
I make the motion we accept or the rest you want to say was $483,080.40.
Yes,
with North Florida Construction.
Yes, sir.
Or just to read resolution 2128.
I thought that's what he said was make sure he did.
There you go. All right, we have a motion. Is there a second?
Yes, second.
All right, any opposition? Please read.
Resolution 21-28. A resolution of the City of Mexico Beach, Florida, approving a proposal for repairs of the 15th Street box culvert wing wall with North Florida Construction Incorporated in the amount of $483,080.40.
Thank you. Is there a motion to adopt?
Make a motion to adopt resolution 2128.
Second.
second. Call the roll, please.
Mayor Kathy?
Yes.
Mr. Pollock?
Yes.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Ms. Call?
Yes.
Mr. Key?
Yes.
Thank you. Next is 2129. This is one with the blanks. Mario, you're gonna have to lead the parade on this.
And Mayor, this again is, this is all the road resurfacing projects that we have, that we've submitted to FEMA. Within that process, staff and consultants and everybody else said, you know, when you do this quilt work of patches, you really can't get a warranty on it. It's going to wear and tear bad. It's not the best of ideas, but this is what FEMA has approved. 287 patches. What the engineer suggested is, let's not do 287 patches, let's do 12 roads that we do the whole road, resurface the whole road, we do the patch and then we resurface over the whole road. Those documents have been available for the council to look at in the conference room. Again, it's complicated. We got the bids in. The base bid is the 283 patches. The alternate bid is redoing 12 roads and half a dozen patches. Here's where it gets confusing. And I've got a board to try it out.
Big picture, the resolution of the blanks, once we talk through everything, if we have a decision, we'll enter those blanks at the end before we come back.
Okay. So this is my rendition of the whole city. Well, and this is my rendition of where the main 12 roads are going to happen. So the whole city is the base bid. So the base bid with R&R was $1.3 million. The base bid with Piggott was $1.5 million for all the patchwork everywhere. The alternate, which is doing mainly the full road resurfacing, is here, a couple roads in here, and then a couple patches in here. So that bid for R&R was $926,000. And for Piggott was $624,000. And the reason I'm breaking the two down is then I also give you the grand total. So R&R's grand total is $2.3 million, and Piggott's grand total is $2.1 million. So staff is recommending that we go with the lowest combined bid. The lowest combined bid being 2.1. Here's where it gets interesting. I don't have $2.1 million, I have 1.6. But understand that the base bid includes patchwork in here. So I'm double dipping by approving the base bid and the alternate. Don't want to do that. I also don't just want to do the alternate because I have a bunch of leftover money. I have another $1 million on top of that, and I have another $700,000 on top of that. So what I'd like the council to consider is approve a contract for the alternate bid and the base bid that allow me to carve out the portion that is double dipped in here out of this. And what I believe will turn out of this is just an exercise for you guys to understand. If you take the base bid and you cut it in half at $700,000, and you add the alternate bid, that gets me to a total of $1.3 million. If I did the same exercise with R&R, I would take their base bid, cut it in half, $675,000, add it to their alternate bid, $1.6 million. So again, this shows that even if we go with this route, we're closer to staying at the low bid. So council would consider, and Nick, if you'll read what you wrote for me.
Sure.
Okay, good.
Just background. Often when you see bidding and there's an alternate 1, alternate 2, alternate 3, often those are add-ons. This project was designed differently. You really had 2 alternate projects to consider. You had your base and your alternate 1. That's why you're not purely focused on who had the lowest base bid, because these were intended to be projects that you could select separately. So Mario's suggestion is to actually select both of those bids and then eliminate some work on the base bid. So the recommendation staff would be to award alternate one and base bid to Piggott, but to make that contract and notice to proceed for the base bid work contingent on reducing the scope of the work to eliminate the locations that are already covered by alternate one. You don't want to contract for work in the same location twice. And Mario thinks that's going to be roughly half of the base bid will be needed.
Okay. So if just for something that's visual, Pickett would go on first line, and the second line here would be 1.374. Is that correct?
That would be a good starting point. Yes, sir. And then if we need to go more than the 3.74, then I'd bring that back to you.
But is that, would those be the two lines, I mean, two numbers or two things we'd fill in here?
Or we'd leave the value out and just talk about the alternate bid one and then the portion of the base bid that's not already covered by alternate bid one.
Then you're leaving the dollar figure blank.
Well, I'm not comfortable leaving it blank. Not at 1 point something million dollars.
Then put it up to value. Don't set an exact value.
Let me add 10% to that, just so that there's some wiggle room. Hold on a second, let me do the math real quick.
We do have 1.3 million.
We got 1.6.
I know that's what he's.
That's what FEMA's.
Okay. Well, we don't.
Yeah, but let's,
If you'll take it to 1.5, that would be great. Well, adding 10% would make it 1.511, so you just.
Okay, 1.5.
Yes, sir.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Okay. So we're going to take a bid from a company that did the alternate and the base and manipulate that.
We're not going to manipulate that. We're going to take the full.
Yeah, but you're going to take, or tell me how to do it. Because you're actually saying, since we're going to do these with a full road, we're not going to need to patch it. Is that what you're saying?
I think there's an easy way for me to show this. So there's $1.5 million that includes this work and this work.
Mm-hmm.
But this work here in the new route costs $624,000. So I know that minimally $624,000 is going to come out of this number, just bare minimum.
Right.
There's going to be more than that because
more patches.
There's more patches than that. So if you just take that out of that, then I'm at 900K. Again, and these are ifs. But my goal is to subtract out whatever Piggott had here, which is this, from this work. Because otherwise, I'm paying for this work on this number, and I'm paying for this work on this number.
But since I've done asphalt, a lot of it, I can tell you that a guy coming in paving that road is going to still have to fix those spots prior.
It's already in this price. This price had the patch, the subgrade patch, and resurfacing the whole road.
Okay.
The only difference was this price only had the patch. So you're going to have 27 patches on that road.
Yeah, the design's not being changed. The design that was advertised for the alternate one is going to happen in full. And the design for the base bid is not going to change, but some of the streets are going to be eliminated.
Well, I'm going to suggest we put Pickett in and put 1.5 in, and if that doesn't work out, then he'll be back 6.
Yes, sir.
Because that's a lot of balls in there at one time just to come to an exact contractual number.
Yeah,
If everybody's good with that?
Right, and the plan would be to use those parameters to get the contract and the notice to proceed to fit what staff is recommending, as opposed to approving the whole thing, coming back next time with a change order that eliminates work, and then you're saying with a contract that arguably is saying more work than we're going to do.
I don't have a problem with it as long as we have a contract that says what we're doing different than what they had originally thought about.
Well, obviously, for the money to get right, he's gonna have to have it.
Yeah,
Or the
right.
money won't be right.
Exactly.
So. All right, do I have a motion to read by title only with those fill-ins?
Make a motion to read resolution 2129 by title only.
Take it, that's up to.
You got the changes to?
I got it.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Please read. When you get squared away.
I'm sure you'll let me know. Resolution 2129, a resolution of the City of Mexico Beach, Florida, approving a proposal for citywide street repair with Piggott Asphalt and Site Work LLC in the amount of up to $1.5 million.
Motion for adoption.
Make a motion to adopt resolution 2129.
Second.
Call the roll, please.
Mayor Kathy,
Yes.
Mr. Pollock,
Yes.
Mr. Smith,
Yes.
Ms. Call,
Yes.
Mr. Keith.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. The last one, because I put this together. I'm just a visual person, and through the time of discussing different projects, I thought if we write them down, this is just things that I think we need to keep in front of us, and if we add to or take away, then we can scratch them off. But, these are things that we have all discussed at various times. Some of them are being handled, and I would like this to be part of our regular packet every meeting. And if somebody has a question about any of them, or you want to add one to it, or you want to take whatever, all of us, these are nothing more than, I mean, I've wondered what, and I just forget to ask. I don't know where we are with the resurfacing of Oleander from the guy when we got the.
And Mayor, if you'd like, I'll run through this list, and I've also done one other thing. I've taken the list and put the numbers on the drawings. So when you go into the conference room, highlighted in yellow is number 1, which is Sunset Park. These are the drawings that are out to bid. We should receive these bids by the end of the month.
Right.
End of the month. So that's where this one is.
Sure, run through them. Big
I
graph.
don't have a list, somehow I don't have a list.
Should be the last sheet in your document. The very last sheet in your document.
You got 9, you got 2 all the way back. I have 2 sheets.
Number 9.
Thank you.
So Sunset Park is out to bid. The drawings are in the conference room for you to look at. And when we get the bids, we'll see where we are. This is not a 428, so we will submit this price to FEMA. And as long as they agree to the design, then we should get paid back for it. So we'll be checking through that process. The canal dredge, these are the documents that have gone out for FEMA to look at. They are re-reviewing everything that has anything to do with the Corps and DEP, and it's taking them forever. Next is the city pier. The city pier preliminary drawings are here. We are working with FEMA to make sure that they agree with what our takeoff was, which is a pier that's on concrete piles, 18 feet in the air and 14 feet wide according to the engineer's designs, and they have agreed to that, and we're just waiting on their process. Item number 4 is the police, fire, and civic center. We've got those drawings marked as number 4. We just received the pricing from our architects for the existing location so that we can get whatever that cost was, and we can use that money at the new location. Street signs, Tommy mentioned that those start coming in this week. Staff will start installing those, and I'm checking with Ryan to make sure that it's okay for our staff to install them on the weekends using overtime. And I believe we should have the budget for it because, again, we bought those signs for a lot less than what we've got obligated. So I'm looking at Ryan, and unless he starts shaking his head this way.
I'll have to look at it a little more detail, but I think that's fine.
Okay. Again, when we install, typically it's going to be less than what it would cost for someone else to do the install. So that's street signs, resurfacing of Oleander. I was told by David that I think they're supposed to be here next week.
Yeah, by the end of the month, it should be out.
Okay, so they should be out here doing that patchwork, and I will also check with them on the debris pile that's on the end of Oleander and Fortner. for the individual that brought that up earlier. Credit card machine, Nick and I have to put together an RFQ.
What? RFQ?
Yeah, request for qualification to get it done. We've got to bid it, or we can piggyback with what Gulf County did, but I don't know how we can piggyback because they didn't put out an RFQ, they just did it. So,
And when we gonna do that? On the credit card machine, you and Nick?
yeah, Nick and I are doing it in my spare time.
Okay, spare time.
The
I
pro-
work overtime and all on the weekend, putting up 3 times. No problem. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Number 8 is the property survey for the additional boat ramp. We have a survey. I'm going to get Dewberry to go out there and put the corners on to make sure that we don't have a wetland. I'll probably get someone to go out there and just make sure we don't have wetlands. According to GIS, there shouldn't be wetlands. Number 9, stormwater. We have an existing contract with Dewberry to do stormwater survey work and preliminary work and review, and it's a grand total of $225,000, and they still have $140-something thousand remaining, so they should be able to go out and basically check the outfalls and back their stormwater design through that. So we have the funds to do that. We also have that's the 15th Street box culvert, and we have a master stormwater design that we're going through FEMA CDBG grant monies to go after. Next item is the boat ramp expansion. These drawings are out to DEP and the Corps for review. We've received funding from Fish and Wildlife to actually build this. To design this. Now that we have it designed, we need to put those out to bid. So we're probably, once we get the permit approved, we'll put it out to bid and then have the price to do it, and then we'll go back to Fish and Wildlife for the funds to actually build it. Street repaving, we just beat that horse to death. And then Tommy, what can you tell us about DOT?
He told us about that earlier.
Yeah, DOT is going, they're gearing up to get started this month on the 6 crosswalks that we requested and the sidewalks.
The crosswalks are lighted?
Yes, they will have just like what the 2 cams now with the flashing lights. Now, he did say they were going to go ahead and start putting the crosswalks in, and they ordered the flashy light. He said it may be a little while before they come in, but they're going to go ahead and start on the walks itself now.
Where will those?
Please don't let them do that. Please don't let them put them in without lights.
Okay.
I'm serious, that's just, have you noticed the one that they have now right there at 20th Street, or 19th Street, or whatever it is?
Oh, that's just a wall, yeah.
It's just lines in the road, there's no lights, there's no nothing. I've seen people almost get killed there.
It gives them the
They walk out there, they just think.
He said they would put the poles in, the lights were.
Yeah, but that's. I say put those white stripes on that road, but people don't think you walk across it.
I agree with you.
I think that's a terrible idea.
Until they get everything.
If they get it all together,
Okay.
because those would be like street signs.
Now, is the lights electrical, or is it gonna be on the?
No, they're solar powered.
Okay.
Yeah, all of them now are solar powered.
Can I add Palm
Yeah.
Park to our list?
Palm Park, yeah, all we need to do, this is,
They said we just got something in, but we need to, to me, that's.
all right, we just add Palm Park, just so we know it's a list. And again, this is, I just think it's good to keep them in front of us, that's all.
Every meeting, we decide what to do.
Thank you, Mario, for doing that. Okay, that's all. Attorney, Nick, you got anything?
No, that's that.
Mr. Administrator, you covered? You through it?
No mas.
Y'all know, I'm just gonna tell you before we get there, y'all know we got another beat.
Yes, that's already filled out.
City council comments for this one, anybody?
I think mine will take with me. I like to, on our stormwater, I know we beat my dead horse to death, but people over there that we could get, our city administrator okay with Tommy if he would, $1,500 to $2,000, put in them sewer pipes, bigger pipes that would help drain Angelina Estate and La Siesta. If we put in bigger pipe from La Siesta down to 15th Street, we got to cut the driveways. I'd like the council to.
Well, now I don't know anything about that.
Here we go, let's talk about it. That's what the citizen comment was about.
I don't remember anybody saying if you put in a bigger pipe, that's what we need to do.
Well, that's, what the problem is that the ones that are in those, under those driveways that Jerry's talking about are too low.
1 foot, too.
They're way too low. They were put in without anybody shooting them properly. The homeowners did them themselves. And you can't put a pipe below where the water's going to flow because it's just going to clog up.
I understand. I just didn't know that was a proposal.
Well, it hasn't been a proposal yet, but that's why he's bringing it up, because that needs to be happening.
It's just
They need to come and put those pipes in, and they gotta have the pipes.
Why don't we get a proposal to us if we know what we're talking about from a dollar standpoint?
Well, I mean, the pipe, many times we talked about it, the pipe, we can get it for $400, and we need 4, so it'd be about $1,600. And then we finally got a ditching bucket, we can clean out the ditches. And I'll just bring it up to see if we could.
And about 3 yards of concrete.
Get at least that started.
Well, is it a budgeted item? Is money in the budget for it?
We got money in the road department budget to do it. And I just need, the city administrator to go ahead and do that.
Well, that's what I'm talking about. There has to be, it would normally come from the two of you to know what the budget is and what it's gonna cost.
Yeah, I've spoke with Mario about it.
Okay.
Y'all just waiting for the go ahead to do it. Mario.
I've not seen a price. We've talked about it, but I don't have a price. So, but that's,
You sent me an email talking to talk to David, and David, I think, David, you answered that, didn't you? About we needed to raise it up.
Okay.
So, to clarify, you're gonna put a dollar amount on it? And you're gonna look at the dollar amount?
Yeah.
if it's below a certain dollar amount, I can approve it if y'all are okay with it too.
So what dollar amount would that be?
I don't know.
Don't know yet. We don't know what we're talking about.
$1,000 is what we're talking about.
Yeah.
I'll check the price.
Well, that's all, I mean, it's, just so we just need to go through the process of getting it handled so that it's done internally and everybody knows that's all.
It's a huge deal. It needs to be done.
If it needs to be done and we've got the money to do it in this budget, then, we've got to start somewhere. That's all I'm saying. Just get work that internally like it ought to be and then let's move on. What else you got?
I'm good.
Anybody else? Motion for adjournment?
So moved.
Okay, can we touch base with